Hi everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 8, Episode 7. Now, I forgot to mention this last week. No one out of the whole group didn't find it odd that all the restaurants in Miami, they went to the one restaurant where Tammy's nephew was at. So maybe I'm just a suspicious person, but me, I've been like, that's odd. We at this restaurant, Tammy's nephew happened to be here. Like all the restaurants we go to, we just happen to run into her nephew. I mean, it could happen, but I just found that whole scene odd. Now this whole next scene. See, this is why you do not invite people back to your house that you don't know. They didn't invite Tammy's nephew Glenn, Tammy's new nephew, whatever his name was, Portia's dude that she's kind of like, and all back to the house. Kandi comes out like, really, this is what we doing? Okay, everybody's having a good time. First step was wrong was when before they got to the house, they should have known Glenn, you know, they could potentially have some problem with him. Y'all remember last week when Kenny was snapping at him, he was like, I know damn sure you're not snapping at me. That was the first time, but you know, she tried to play it off like, ooh, he a little spicy. No, he is like revealing a little bit of his true colors. Now, he kicked getting at Kandi. He walked by Kandi talking about some congratulations. She was like, thank you. He's like, you ain't giving me no attitude. I was like, she said thank you. I guess that wasn't good enough for old boy Glenn. Because Kandi already looking like, okay, something right now in my senses is telling me that something is not right. Now go with them senses. Next thing you know, he over there getting loud and, you know, all this stuff with Kenya. But I'm not going to say she kind of deserves it, but, you know, Kenya, she can bring that out of people. But she didn't deserve him coming at her like that. So, Kandi and Kenya, they done came together like, you know what, something about Glenn ain't right. You know, maybe we should ask him to leave. At this time, Portia's noticing, hey, something is not right. I'm going to ask this dude, Oliver, that I'm trying to cool with, I'm going to ask him to leave now. Because I could see something going bad. Cynthia's like, you know what? I done already seen this movie 3 or 4 times. I know how it's going to end. I'm carrying my tail upstairs. Kandi was like, you know what? I'm pregnant. I ain't got time for this. They done told Tammy, look here, your nephew been a little bit disrespectful. I don't know where Tammy was. She come popping back up. Tammy is always like disappearing and then popping back up. She already got a little beer in her hand and, you know, she a little drunk. But she was like, he was being disrespectful. They was like, yeah, she's surprised about this. And it was like, I think he should leave. She's like, okay, if that's how you feel, that's good. I'm like, good. If you know your nephew a little bit crazy, I'm going to need y'all to have him leave. So they done already like, all right, everybody. She's like, all right, come on, nephew, Glenn, and your friend. Time to go. He gets to the door. He's calling Kenya all kind of bitches. And I'm like, really? This is what we're doing? Like, you mad because you're getting thrown out the house? Next thing you know, Tammy, she's trying to calm Glenn down, but Glenn ain't having that. He flings her to the floor. And like I said earlier, she had a few drinks, so she's like out, just out. And next thing you know, he trying to fight with security guards. We come back from commercial. She's still laid on the floor. And next thing you know, he's laid on the floor trying to fight security. I was like, see, that's why you can't bring everybody into your home. Stuff like this happened. There was drinks involved. He was a little rowdy. And now we got people passed out on the floor. So after this whole big commotion, Kim was like, you know what? I'm going to go to a hotel. I don't feel safer. And I was like, I really don't blame her for that. Like, I would want to leave too. The next day, Kandi decided to leave. She packing her stuff, talking to Todd on the phone to Kim. Like, girl, where you going? She was like, Tammy and her nephew came back last night. We was all sitting there having a good time. And Tammy then came back from the hospital with her nephew. And they was trying to like laugh about that she had on a hospital gown and hospital slippers. But I'm like, she left from the house in her swimsuit. What was she gonna stop and go shopping somewhere? It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. This is what they put her in when they took her to the hospital. They got her on camera. And yeah, I'm pretty sure she was still a little bit drunk. She didn't got rushed to the hospital. Her head hurt. She come back to the hospital. She's telling Kandi is telling Kenya and Cynthia this, and she was like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. I am carrying my tail home with my husband and our children. I ain't got time for this. We worked too hard on this baby. And Cynthia, she's looking like, oh my goodness, all this went down. Like, where was Cynthia at when Tammy came back to the house? Now, apparently the producers didn't want Tammy to come back to the house. I don't know if this was before she showed up or after she showed up. But it was like, I don't know how she got in. Did she hop the fence? But like, Tammy, she was part of the trip too, so I don't know why they didn't let her back in the house. I don't know if they thought, okay, her nephew was gonna come back too, which apparently did happen. But I'm like, okay, dude, what are your name, Glenn? Like, really, this is what we're doing. We're showing up to houses where we got kicked out of. See, like I said before, you can't bring everybody into your house. See, but some people feel, mainly Phaedra and Kim, felt that Kenya was provoking him from the beginning. Now, I don't care how you provoke some. I don't care. He shouldn't have been trying to come at a woman and knock her down. He already knocked his auntie down. Now, y'all know if he don't have no problem about knocking his auntie down, he ain't gonna have no problem knocking down anybody else in the room. Like, he was fighting security and everything. I'm like, really? This is what we doing? Then the girls, they go out on some mini Hummers and they driving around. They happy because Kim's gone, because they thought she was gonna be a Debbie Downer, which, in all actuality, she probably would have. But this whole situation, her what to leave, I would want to leave too, because this area is not safe. People done got knocked out. People done got ushered out by security. People done came back and did all kind of mess. Like, I would want to leave too. Then this whole scene with Cynthia calling Tammy on the phone, I didn't like that scene. And then here's why. Because I felt that Cynthia should have called her friend on her own. Because after the little fight happened, Cynthia's like, I felt like this is my fault. And Kenya was in her, this is not your fault, Cynthia. Like, oh my goodness. It was just like, this is my friend. And she done got knocked out. Like, but Kenya was like, I'm not saying you should feel bad, but you shouldn't feel like this is your responsibility. This was Glenn's responsibility. He the one caused all this commotion. But Kenya's like, okay, I'm going to need you to get by my ear. At one point, they done had words. But Cynthia, I felt that Cynthia should have called Tammy on her own. She shouldn't have waited until she got on the bus or wherever they was with everybody else, sitting there with the phone out, so everybody can hear their conversation. She was like, she been trying to call Tammy like 4-5 times, but Tammy ain't really trying to answer her call. Maybe that's because, Tammy had to leave the trip and had to go to a hotel, still staying where she was at. Like, I kind of felt Tammy, I would have went back to where my stuff is. Like, if I can't stay here, at least I'm going to take my clothes and take them back to the hotel where I was at. But this is where I'm coming from. But I just felt that Cynthia should have talked to Tammy on her own, not amongst the group. But hey, it could have been the producers like, okay, we need an extra scene about all this drama that went on, so I'm going to need you to get on the phone with Tammy. Y'all, Portia went on her little day. She's like, Duke ain't been calling in a while. I ain't heard from him, so I guess Portia kind of considered herself, a little bit single. She done met this dude Oliver, but I felt so awkward for the kid because, like, they talking and he goes in for a kiss and she hits him with one another. Oh no, not right now. Cause like that kind of threw her off. Like, I don't really know you like that, and you want me to kiss you? Yeah, we need to know each other a little longer before we like start kissing like that. But she does kiss him in the end. It's like, oh yeah. But she kind of like Oliver, so she go back to the girls and tell them what's going on, and everybody seems happy. Her and Cynthia, they didn't, been cleared there between them. It's like, what, we needed this trip, because if we had we didn't already have this little fight on the boat, this was like a do-over and everything's good. At one point, Kenya kept on bringing up, okay, how are you and Peter doing? And she was like, I'm tired of talking about me and Peter. I was talking about me and Peter when we weren't doing good. We're doing good now, so just leave it alone. So Kim and Kenya meet up, and Kim is trying to convince us, and I'm assuming herself too, that the reason why she left the trip was because the little fight that went on. Doing good, doggone well. She was trying to lead the trip from the moment they got to the airport. She was already like, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing this. I'm proud of myself. I've been away from my family for this whole 2 minutes. But like, girl, you was looking for any and every excuse to leave. Now, this excuse, was a good excuse to leave, because like the fight went on. You don't know this dude like that. He could have came back and really acted all kind of several fools. But she is like, you know what? Everything was cool. You was talking to dude, and next thing you know, you kind of was poking at the doggone bear, and then the bear attacked. But Ken was like, I felt he was being aggressive, which he was. And I felt that the more drinks that got at him, he could have been even more aggressive. I agree with that, Kenya, because, you don't know this man. He's already had a few drinks, and he's already, was coming for Kandi because she didn't, I guess, be like, oh, And then when his daughter, you know, she want to go back to New York for Thanksgiving, and she got her little boyfriend there, and she's doing good now. She's in college. She work at the airport. She's like, you know, Kenny's like, you know, she can fly for free. Go ahead and let her do that. But he's like, you know what, Kai ain't trying to really go there because, like, this is daughter. Like, I don't know about her having a boyfriend. She need to be staying in school, stay or tell at home. But Candy's happy because, you know, Todd's daughter, I can't think what that child's name is, but she's, like, coming out of her shell now. Like, Candy's happy for them about that. So that was the gist went on. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment or video response. And like always, I want to thank my subscribers and the people who watch my videos. I want you to like this video, comment, and subscribe. And share this video with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and here on YouTube. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.